I'm with it. Okay, last one we're going to talk about the Louis Varland trade. This was the buzzer beater. I don't want to talk about Alan Roden unless you especially do. He went down. It was announced today that he's having thumb surgery, so he's done for the year. I do. That is a bummer, just because you wanted to try and work out some of the warts and make the adjustment now in the next 5 weeks when it doesn't matter. And now you got to wait till spring to figure that out. But who I'm interested in talking about with you is who I describe as the main acquisition here, which is Kendry Rojas, 22-year-old Cuban left-hander, listed at 6'2", 190, incredibly fluid mover on the mound. And as of recently, a frequenter of hipster top 100 prospect lists. He's been on a few, not necessarily the like biggest industry ones like Pipeline, but if you look at like Just Baseball, he's on their top 100 prospect list. Thomas Nestico does one. He's a TJ Stats Online. I think Kendry Rojas is on his. Rojas has looked pretty mixed. I've tried to get as much of him as possible watching what he's done at AAA so far. He's walked too many guys. He's given up some hits. And this is a profile where, like, it's kind of like 4 good pitches with one really good one in his changeup. But the stuff isn't going to wow you in the same way that Prielipp does. But it's just such an easy, like, 95 out the hand that he's a guy who you could just see in a couple of years with some refinement, with some experience. And this is a guy who's only logged 14 AAA innings. So we're on the front end here. But you could see him developing into a really nice, at worst, high leverage bullpen arm, but at best, middle of the rotation starter for the Twins from the left side, which feels pretty exciting. Have you seen Rojas much yet? What do you make of this acquisition? How he's done so far, even though it's been a little up and down for St. Paul?
Yeah, I'm always a fan of adding young, active, talented arms, and so kind of going through his stuff. Pitched a little bit high A. Didn't give up any home runs at all. Didn't give up any home runs till his last Double A appearance for New Hampshire. Gave up 2 home runs in a game where he got hit around. Gets promoted to Buffalo, gives up 2 home runs. Like, he's given up 6 home runs all year, and they've been in his last 4 starts, all of them. And so I feel like there's some tinkering that's either been done or needs to be done. 9 strikeouts in 9 innings with the Saints, and has walked 5. Like that number's kind of high, but the ceiling is the ceiling is high enough that you could handle the floor being a little more questionable.
100%.
And again, you can take risks. Not that Rojas is like more risky, but you can take more risks when you have all the other stuff. And it's like there's some certainty, as much as you can ever speak to certainty with pitching prospects. It's very hard, but there's some certainty with McAble. There's some hopeful certainty with Taj Bradley, and then when you throw in a Rojas type, like that just is kind of icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Because now there's a handful of lefties that are close, and they don't all need to pan out as starters. If one of Rojas or Prielipp can start and the other is a dominant reliever, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then you have guys, with the lower levels. Dason Hill, who just made his Cedar Rapids debut, gave up some runs, but also had the strike zone. And Dason Hill's Cedar Rapids debut was a crime. That's all I'm going to say.